Well, welcome to the Stone Roadie podcast. This is the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Captain Galaxy and all the old friends come along. Lord Willie, talking Skinner, and leading you with a song.
Good morning, everybody. Time to rise and shine. I'm Shelby Barrett, the Stoned for the Stoned Roadie Show, and it's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
Podcast 119, action. Well, alrighty then. Looky here. This is podcast number 4 of the Wake and Bake Show. Podcast number 119 of the Stoned Roadie Show. And it's the Wake and Bake Stone Roadie Show. The Wake and Bake Stone Roadie Show. Tune in and burn them down and get high first thing in the morning on the Stone Roadie Wake and Bake Show. Oh, that was kind of a melody sent in to me by Daniel Barron. He called me today and had a acoustic version of his theme song, the Stone Roadie Show, and I told him to record it and send it in to Griff, and we'll put it in on the Sunday morning acoustic show, and we can maybe a few of you can write them in, and we can have a Stone Roadie bake-off.
A bake-off.
A bake-off for the song we want to choose for the Stone Roadie Show. So, what the heck we got going on today, Griff? You went to that Manatee Festival a couple days ago. How'd that go?
Oh yeah, I got back last night, and I tell you what, I think they've had 37 of those annually back 37 years ago or they started it, and I've never been to one, but I tell you what, they know how to hook up a festival over there. That place, I've never seen that many booths. I mean, it was just on and on and on. I don't think there was acres of booths there. And, yeah, it was really well organized, and Six Gun, they rocked the house, man. They were excellent. And, Seda Davidson, Derek Hess, they, sang some Rossington Collins stuff, and the Six Gun with the Lynyrd Skynyrd, and those people were rocking, man. They never seen anything like that. Bunch of Yankees, Gene says. So, he goes, Griff, look out in that audience out there. What do you see? Are those Lynyrd Skynyrd fans? And I said, well, I'm sure they've heard of Lynyrd Skynyrd. He said, yeah, but those aren't hardcore Lynyrd Skynyrd fans. And he was right. They were they were kind of like old Yankees, but they sure did love them some Skynyrd at that event Saturday, and they did a great job. And they even had a Jimmy Buffett cover band there that went on before Skynyrd, the Caribbean Chillers. And that guy, he kind of spooky, man. He looks almost just like Jimmy Buffett, the guy singing. I don't know his name. I talked to him, and I've talked to Jimmy Buffett too, and they sound a lot alike, and he sings just like Jimmy Buffett, and they were really good. If you like Jimmy Buffett, I would recommend the Caribbean Chillers. Nice guy, that guy that plays Jimmy's role, and he looks just like him. It's just funny as hell. But yeah,
you were down there cruising around with Shelby Barrett down there.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, that's Shelby. Yeah, that's Shelby. She's something else. I got to know Shelby a lot better. We hung out together. She's a great little assistant. She. I don't ever like. I had a girlfriend about a year ago, and she didn't care too much for that Lynyrd Skynyrd stuff, and I never really pushed it on her or anything. But some of these ladies, some of these women that like Lynyrd Skynyrd, they're rough and tough chicks. But But this Shelby, you know, she's a cool young girl, and who would think somebody 24 years old, you know, would love Lynyrd Skynyrd. But you guys stick around. I did a little interview with Shelby, and I'm going to put it on the end of this podcast here, Craig, so people can kind of get to know Shelby a little bit better, because she's going to be doing a lot more things. And we had a great time. And yeah, I was so busy. I worked my ass off. I videotaped so much stuff. So I'm going to be bringing you a lot of great six-gun music, electric guitar, and acoustic. And back to that Sunday morning acoustic, you guys that are sending the stuff in, if you haven't seen it on yet, just give me some time, because I want to put together certain songs with certain songs and things, and kind of organize it a little bit. So give me a little time on that. And then, Craig, you say you got a guy who's sending in a song, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Daniel Barron. Yeah, he sent me in a Stone Roadie song today. Yeah, I kind of stole his melody a little bit, but it's kind of hard to hear. So that was really all I could hear was the melody. But
I know Bill Major's working on one too. The guy who wrote the Stone Roadie song that we have, he said he's working on one. And like you said, we can you guys send one of those in, and we'll separate those from the rest, and we'll have, like Craig said, a bake off.
Well, there ain't no rule against having more than one
That's
wake
true.
and bake song. We can have a whole bunch of them. You know, we can start every morning with a new wake and bake song. You know, ain't no rules on the Stone
It
Roadie show.
ain't no rules. Just like, you know, Craig's got a different robe for every podcast. You
I
know.
think this is Marriott. I think that's what this one is today. I think that's a Marriott.
Yeah, anybody that knows what that emblem is, that's one of Craig's robes that found its way into a suitcase when he was on tour, and he just, I guess, got away with it because it's probably incidental charge for Lynyrd Skynyrd. But yeah, that was some great happenings there, and I tell you what, Craig, we're going to do that drawing Wednesday for the mic, right? Isn't that what we're going to do Wednesday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I don't think, if you haven't sent your thing in, it's probably too late, because, you know, it'll take a couple days to get to Craig anyway. So if you haven't gotten it in yet, I wouldn't even bother unless you live in Green, Ohio, and it'll probably make it there.
No, Angela, yours didn't make it to last night. I went and looked. It didn't make it, you know, so maybe it'll come today.
Yeah, so Craig's gonna draw Wednesday for the mic, which is that right there, and that was used on like half of the podcasts, and we'll do. On Wednesday, I'll put some video up of Six Gun playing at the Manatee Fest, and yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. And we'll do some Sunday morning acoustic with some of the stuff that they did at the St. John's Saloon there, which was really packed. And Six Gun really did a great job of acoustic stuff too, and Seda. And you know, got to hang out with Seda and Derek Hess. Derek Hess was pretty sick. He had like the flu, and he was a trooper, man. He came and he drummed even though he was sick, but he did a great job. Really enjoyed that festival. Yeah, and this guy,
Yeah, Chad sent out. I talked to Chad the night before, and he said that he got a message that Derek was kind of sick, didn't know if he's going to be able to make it. Yeah, but he pulled through. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy, he's the head of the Chamber of Commerce at the Citrus County, or for Citrus County. He's the CEO of the Citrus County Chamber of Commerce. His name is Josh Wooten, and he's the one who found Six Gun. And I did an interview with him, and we'll put that up on Wednesday as well, and you can see what he had to say about Six Gun and their performance. The guy totally loves them now. He wants to have them back next year. He wants to do a couple things, maybe 2 times a year with them, and and that guy rolled out the red carpet for him, and I mean, we had, he treated us like kings, free meals and drinks, and it was almost like, you won the lottery over there with Six Gun, man. Those guys were rock stars. They were loving it. So, we appreciate that there, Josh Wooten, all you did for us, and got free hotel and all the food was on him, and well, it was on the Chamber of Commerce and the people that raised money for the event, which Six Gun entertained. They all got together and listened to Six Gun at the St. John's Saloon over there, and it's a really great show, Craig.
And Shelby never seen no manatee before, huh? So you
No, yeah, I
go to a
videotaped.
manatee.
I videotaped some of those manatee, and I got Shelby's reaction. There's like I remember when I was probably like 19 years old. I used to go diving with the manatee over in Crystal River, and I haven't been there since. And that place has really grown a lot. But the manatee were in there pretty thick. There was like 100 of them over there where we were at, and I remember when I went there, it was just a bunch of woods, and you kind of had to hike through the woods to get to the spring where they were all hanging out. Now they got a big boardwalk built around it, and beautiful clear water, which you'll see it in the video. It's 70, what, the springs are 72 degrees or something like that, all year round. So the manatees come in there, and every year that festival is right around Martin Luther King Day. So, so yeah, that was really cool. And those people from up north are down there checking out those manatees, which back where I came from over there in Brevard County, those rednecks, they don't like manatees, man. The only way they say they like manatees is with gravy on it. I said that a couple times and over there, and people gave me the stink eye, and then Chad Lane, his wife Laura, looked at me like, "You better shut up, Griff. You're going to piss some people off."
I don't think nobody eats manatees, do they?
Well, yeah, I've heard that. I heard that they make a nice steak.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat one. I guess it's about like a
whale.
seal.
It'd be like whale or something like that.
Yeah, it's got to have a lot of fat on it, right?
Yeah.
I know I've accidentally.
It's a mammal. Yeah, it's a mammal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're huge, and you can see some of them. They have like prop marks where outboards have.
There's manatee zones in those waters down there. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, there was no manatee zone around. You just kind of watched out what you're doing, and you would be going down the river like when I would go to Homosassa, and you'd be flying down the river, and all of a sudden your outboard would kick up, and you're like, oh, there's a manatee,
Oh.
So now they got the manatee zones, and Jimmy Buffett was all about the manatee, saving the manatee, and that's why they had that Caribbean chillers there for a little Jimmy Buffett experience with the manatees. And they're not indigenous of I think they came from Brazil or something, or South America. I forget where it was they come from, but they made their way up to Florida, and if it freezes, it could kill a bunch of them. So that's why they flock down to the warm waters and hang out there in those estuaries there where it's warm. But enough of the manatees. You guys stay tuned Wednesday, and we'll show some video from Six Gun. And Gene Odom was there, and he had like a couple boxes, like some books that he was selling, and I guess he got a little bit overwhelmed to carrying those boxes. And somebody told me, yeah, Gene's heart flipped out on him again. He's got that AFib, and they went in and they did something in his heart there where they cauterize a valve in there, ablation they call it, and that kind of fixed him up. But if he gets a little overwhelmed or overstressed, he goes into that AFib. And last I heard, they were trying to haul him off to the hospital, and he said, no, I ain't going. And he actually ran from them. But then he's got something wrong with his eye. You know, he's got like some kind of an infection behind his glass eye that he lost in the plane crash. And poor old Gene ain't doing too good, man, with that eye. You know, they're going to have to do surgery on it. And so you guys say some prayers for Gene Odom. I mean, he's okay, but you know, he's having a little rough spot right now with that eye infection, and he you know, he still tries to sell books and things and make ends meet. So those donations really help him out quite a bit. Speaking of that, I'm going to be calling Leslie Hawkins on the 18th and have a chat with her about bringing her check. Craig sent it to me, and she's got what, $1,650 check, right, Craig?
Yeah, 1650 she's got coming. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that up to Jacksonville to her and sit down with her and record a little bit of her talking about that. So that's going to be really cool. And I also talked to Lee Wilkinson's son on the phone yesterday, and he couldn't make it to the festival. Something came up and he couldn't make it, and he was going to bring his one of his dad's hats and let Savannah wear it. But it looked like Leon Wilkinson's nephew showed up with one of Leon's hats. And
Yeah, I
that
saw
was kinda,
Savannah. Savannah had a couple of hats. Yeah.
well, that hat that she had on was something that some guy had laying around, but I
That
think
leather
that guy's,
one.
yeah, that leather one. I shot some video of it. They put it on the mic, and when they were playing, it was up on the mic there, and I think that would have swallowed Savannah's little head, man. I think Leon's head was as big as yours, Craig.
No, no,
No?
no, no. He wore a. I had a hat that I have a 7 5/8 head. I got a big old water head, and I had a 7 3/8 hat that I loaned Leon, and he gave it away. But
Oh,
that
yeah?
one fit him better. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that hat looked pretty beat, and it was huge, but maybe the inside of it, the part that you put on your head was smaller. But that thing, man, you could tell it was old, all leather. It was really cool. I wonder where he got that thing from, you know? Where
I
did
don't
he
know.
usually get his hats at, Craig?
Leon.
Yeah.
God, he got hats all over the place. Yeah, he was always on the lookout for a hat. Yeah.
And where did he get that Bobby hat? That hat.
Sally Arnold gave him that Bobby hat. Lay down, Sally. Sally
Oh, yeah?
Arnold. Yeah, from England. Yeah, she was our manager, our English manager. Like I said before, she was actually Lay Down Sally from Eric Clapton's song. That was Sally Arnold. Yeah, I guess she's not doing in very good health. Kenny Peden, before he died, he was having communication with her, and he said that she wasn't doing real good, and you know, she was real good friends with all the Rolling Stones and Clapton and all those big rock stars, and she got sick, and they all, you know, didn't have, you know, they all just kind of forgot about her, you know.
I never knew who she was until you mentioned, you know, her, and then of course that song that Eric Clapton sang was about her, which is kind of cool. Uh,
Yeah, she's
but
well known in the business over in England. Yeah, fun.
but yeah, Lely, he's going to get back with Savannah, and I think he's going to give Savannah one of Leon's hats to wear because you know he's so thrilled with her bass playing, and he also said that he would do an interview. I could come down to Cape Coral there where he lives,
Oh,
which
cool. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
only like 2.5 hours straight down from me, and it's a nice little country drive down to Cape Coral. There's a couple people down there that I know, but it's weird. It's like there's a lot of Cape Coral going on for me. I don't know why. It's always you know, something coming up about Cape Coral. But yeah, that's going to be cool. And then we still have some other interviews with some people coming up. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening coming up here on the Stoned Roadie Wake and Bake. So you guys hang in there. What's the temperature like up there in Ohio, Craig? I heard it was cold as hell.
Oh God, my sister called me the other day. She goes, "What's the weather like?" I said, "Oh, it's like 38 or 40. It's not snowing or nothing." Like half hour later, man, the winds picked up about 50, 60 mile an hour winds. It started snowing, and then yeah, this the cold front moved in. Yeah, it's rather chilly up here. Yeah, I was kind of looking for my. I got a wanted to find my robe from the oh God, what's the name of that place down there in West Virginia? I just talked about it.
Yeah, I can't remember what
Oh
it was.
God, yeah, whatever. I'll find it one of these days.
Well,
But
you said the door was frozen on the barn out there.
yeah, I got a got to trying to clean up around here, and I had a bunch of stuff I didn't have room for, so I put them out in a trailer out in my yard to just get rid of some stuff in here, and I think that's out there, but I couldn't get the door open.
That's where Craig keeps his Convair 240 fuselage that he got out of the junkyard that he sells parts off of. There's a couple people that said, yeah, Craig's got a. I think they even got Gene Odom convinced that Craig had a fuselage in his.
The Greenbrier in West Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
okay.
that place down there where that military facility is. That's a cool place. Yeah.
Well, so you gonna wear a new robe for every podcast?
Oh, I got a different. I ain't got no problem with wearing a different robe every day for a couple of years.
Oh my God! And he's got a motel room.
I probably
key to
got
match.
50. I probably got 50 from the Ritz Carlton.
I wonder if you could match the robes up with the keys. Probably they
I
don't
think
have
I
it
got
in
more
there.
robes than I do keys, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and it was so cold. Didn't they cancel a football game somewhere? Where was that? They canceled a football game.
Oh, Buffalo, New York. Yeah. Talking about the football games, man, the Browns got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Holy moly. They played up here, played Texans up here, beat them pretty bad, man, so they were kind of like scheduled to win that game, and they got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, it was a big spread on that game.
That 22-year-old rookie quarterback smoked them, man. I mean, God almighty. Of course,
Well,
Texas's defense, God, they picked off Brown's quarterback 3 or 4 times, man.
yeah, I was out of town.
It was pretty sad, yeah.
But I tell you what, though, there's a lot of stuff. We were talking about the aliens down in that mall. I've been seeing a lot of people are saying, man, there weren't any kids with no fireworks. And I'm telling you, we saw, they were saying, I saw this big digital giant alien, and it was kind of like a digital image that was fading in and out, and that just tells me somebody's got some kind of hologram going on trying to get people riled up. The government's doing something, and these people are seeing it, and now they're believing it, and that's just what they want you to do. So
Not that they don't exist, but they don't exist in the way we think they do.
No, and all of a sudden, 2024, and you got, this election coming up, which, we know there's some shady stuff going to happen there, and all of a sudden, coincidentally, you got these aliens, just like they predicted, coming out. So.
Well, there are things we should be terrified of. That EMT or whatever that is.
EMP, electromagnetic pulse.
That thing where the sun explodes and comes down here, that hasn't happened since 1850. And when that happened in 1850, the only electronics we had was the telegraph, and they had to replace all of that. I mean, it fried everything, from what I hear. Dennis Quaid was talking about it on a thing today, and he just said there's 100% chance that that's going to happen again soon, and when it does, 90% of the population of the earth will vanish. You know, I mean, there's, you know, people live with that cell phone in their hand, man. You know, there'll be no cell phones. There'll be no water. There'll be no food. There'll be no gasoline. I mean, people, you know, fat people make jokes about, there'll be no food. I'll just live off my fat, you know. You know, that's easier said than done, man. That stuff messes with your head, man. When you're addicted to something like food, you know, you can joke about it all you want, but when it comes down to really doing it, it takes a mental strength to go without food. People are addicted to something. That's something mental. A lot of people can't handle. I think the reason why most women gained all that weight here real quick is when they made Xanax and Valium illegal to where the women couldn't get that stuff. They resorted to eating to absorb their depression or whatever they were doing that they had to eat those pills. They resorted to food, and that's why everybody got so fat so quick, you know. And so all these people, you can live off your fat, but your mental, you have to be able to do it mentally, you know. And
Yeah, that's like I was
addicted.
telling you about that guy that show alone. Speaking of survival, that show alone, there was some big Hawaiian guy on there. This guy was really big, and that was his plan, to live off of his fat. You know, everybody else was out running around burning calories trying to catch food, and his plan was just to stay calm and just live off of his fat, and it was working. He was winning. But it, like you said, it got in his head, and he started missing his family. And I think he was wanting a cheeseburger real bad. And
Cheeseburger in paradise.
yeah, you know, I mean, you know, he, you know, I guess, you know, the creature of comfort, man. When you get big like that, and you used to eating like that, and some of those people, man, they eat like a couple of pizzas. You know, and a whole carton of eggs and things like that. You know, it's just ridiculous. And oh yeah, man.
Not to get off a topic, but you got me looking for those itineraries last week with that.
Oh yeah,
with the July
in the Tulane Stadium
17th date in it. Here's the itinerary from October the 20th. That's the one. This one was actually on the plane with me when it crashed. This is one from October the 20th. It's got that. That was the current. This is the very last one we had. And July 17th, we didn't do no shows. I mean, this is the itinerary. Matter of fact, this one actually belonged to Leon. He left it here. You can see.
Oh wow. Cool.
Yeah, that one belonged to Leon. I've got a couple of those. But people ask me where I was. When was the last time I was in Muscle Shoals, or was I in Muscle Shoals, or was I ever in Muscle Shoals? And I couldn't exactly come up with the exact date that I was there, but this here says that I was in, we played, the last show we played in July was the Gator Bowl. On July the 10th, we played the Gator Bowl with 38 Special, The Outlaws, Charlie Daniels, Marshall Tucker, and Grinder Switch.
Oh,
and
cool.
then July the 10th, we went to Muscle Shoals to the Howard Johnsons on Florence Boulevard in Florence, Alabama, and we were there on the 10th, 11th, 12th. And we were mixing. It says we were overdubbing, etc. Jimmy Johnson will take good care of you. Continue mixing. And we were there on July the 14th. And then we were there on July 15th. And that show was supposed to be on July 17th. And
it got canceled.
That's the end of this itinerary. And looky here. Here's another one from Leon Wilkeson. and it starts. Here's the people that were on that tour. Let me see if I can see in the.
Yeah, I can see Artimus, Allen. Yeah, I can see some of the names on it. Well, it looks like something's tore out there, though, Craig.
Yeah, there's a little. Well, this is Leon, so he probably wrote something in there and then tore it out. I don't know. This one's
probably somebody's phone number or something.
So yeah, so this is starts out August 15th. So we had off for a whole month. We had from July 15th to August 15th off. And then we went to Chicago to the Hawthorne racetrack, and then we went to the 16th and 17th off, and then we were the 19th we were at the Pavilion in Homestead, England. And then the 21st of August, we did Nebworth. Cool. So that's what this itinerary is for. Here is for Nebworth. And then by the 24th of August, we were in Springfield, Massachusetts. So 3 days later, we're back in the United States.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we never did that show as far as because I looked on the internet too for shows Skinner did, and yeah, there's nothing there for July 17th, and that was almost 50 years ago, and I'm sorry I can't remember that far back, sorry about that, but this ain't happening. I remember though the controversy. I do remember that controversy about all those bands playing and who was going to headline. ZZ Top, Marshall Tucker, and Lynyrd Skynyrd, were all very popular then, and who was going to headline that show? Because there was Jay Giles and Charlie Daniels, and that was a pretty powerful show. But yeah, I guess we didn't go. But yeah. So,
yeah, they used to have like lineups like that down here in Florida. They call it the Tangerine Bowl. I don't know if you remember the Tangerine Bowl.
Oh, God, yeah, we played I've done that before, yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, I got one buddy of mine he's probably got 200 T-shirts that he got from all these concerts, and they're old. He's got Skynyrd shirts, old. I've been trying to talk him to getting on the podcast and going through all of his shirts and his ticket stubs, and he won't do it. But it would be so cool if I could talk him into doing that, because he's got all those old shirts. He's got that collection's worth a lot of money. I mean, he just keeps it in a box. But I said, man, what are you going to do with those things? You need to do something with them, But maybe I can talk him into going through them, old buddy of mine, and that would be really cool. You probably got quite a few shirts, don't you, Craig?
Yeah. Boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes.
From the 70s?
Yeah. Not Skinner shirts, just just shirts. I mean, just good,
Well, I mean, yeah, different shirts from different bands.
Different, just stupid stuff. Just all kind of T-shirts. Yeah. Did we talk about Lacey's book? Did we talk?
Oh no, we didn't talk about Lacey's book.
Okay, yeah. Before we forget that, last night I put up Lacey's book. on my eBay account. Yeah, I'm selling Lacey's book, and that's the one that was donated by Brandon Campbell, and the proceeds of that go directly to Mark Howard.
Yeah, and there's he signed it right there,
yeah.
and yeah, Craig's got it on eBay now. So if you guys,
Yeah, it goes off Sunday at 8:50 Eastern Standard Time. Next Sunday Eastern Standard Time it closes. So yeah, so all the proceeds to that go directly to Mark Howard. So yeah.
yeah, we got some other stuff Craig's going to be putting up, like this CD, which we mentioned on the last podcast that Derek Hess and Barry Harwood signed, which was nice of him. And there's also a couple backstage passes that. So, and Craig, he's going to put those up, a little bit at a time here, and so we don't get too overwhelmed.
There's another CD too. What's that other CD? I'm kind of confused on what that one is.
No, there's only one CD, and then there's two backstage passes inside. I keep them inside.
Yeah, okay,
here.
that must have you must have had that opened up or something. I was confused.
Yeah, I keep. I keep cool. The backstage passes inside this CD, so I don't lose.
Oh yeah, that's what you did. I was confused. Yeah.
So I don't know. How would you sell these, Craig? Would you sell them together or
no, individually? Yeah, we'll have to.
So you would sell these individually?
Yeah.
And then this.
If you want them both, you can buy them both individually.
Yeah, I guess you're the expert on that. I don't.
No, you sell those
about
individually. Yeah. All that stuff is donated to Mark Howard. Yeah.
And when they were playing that Rossington Collins music, people they remember those songs. They remember the Getaway and and those songs like that, and they were out there dancing.
It's hard to believe because that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And they don't play that much stuff. They don't play that stuff on the radio anymore.
No, and it's great music. It's really great music.
Yeah, it sure is.
And to hear these guys play it, it's note for note, man. And then Seda Davidson, she is like really she was good the last time I heard her, but she's taking it to another level. I mean, as soon as she starts singing, people turn their head and they're like, "Who is that?" I mean, this girl, she's only 17 years old, and what a great little singer she is. She probably only weighs 90 pounds.
From what I understand, she really hadn't discovered who Dale Krantz Rossington was on the when she was doing it at first, but now that's her favorite singer now is Dale, I guess. That's from what I understand. Yeah, she listens to all of her stuff now. Yeah.
Well, Dale would be happy if she hasn't already heard her. I'm sure when she does, she'll be very happy about, her singing her music because she does a great job. And, then when we were in that St. John's saloon down there, and the acoustics weren't real good in there, but we'll have to see how it turned out on video. And the lighting was kind of bad. I had to go over there and turn their lights up, beg them to do that. So I got some pretty good video. We'll put that on the Sunday morning acoustic for you guys coming up. So, but yeah, that's what we got. Wednesday's a big day. We'll go over that Manatee Fest with a bunch of on the road with Griff Martin stuff. We'll have a Sunday morning acoustic coming up and a lot of great stuff. Some more interviews. Oh, and Billy Fender, he brought that guitar, that like Blackie, and gave it to Zach. And,
cool. Yeah,
I got video of him presenting that at the saloon there, and Zach really, man, he really appreciated that, and you'll be seeing him playing because he loves that guitar. He'll be playing it on stage pretty soon. So, all right, Craig, I guess we'll go on with the video, the interview that I did with Shelby. You guys get to know her a little bit, and then I'll put that manatee, that video of the manatee that we saw on there too. So stay tuned after this jibber jabber here, and you can see that video.
All righty then. We'll call that podcast 119 and Stone Roadie show number 4. And that's a wrap. And until next time on the Stone Roadie show, happy trails to you, and may the good Lord take a liking to you. And we'll call that a wrap. And we're out of here.
Okay, here I am with Shelby Barrett, and Shelby Barrett is my official Stone Roadie Stonette, and we had to have us a Stonette on the Stone Roadie show because Craig and I we're old men, and people don't like looking at old men. They like looking at Kathy Godsey, okay, but we had to get somebody on here that would bring our subscriptions up a little bit, so we talked Shelby into becoming a Stonette on the Stone Roadie show. So Shelby, people that are watching the podcast might want to know a little bit more about our Stonette. So start off, well, where are you from, and where did you grow up?
I'm from Edinburgh, Mississippi. I'm 25 years old. I've been a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan for as long as I can remember, so I'm just over the moon about being a part of this. So thank y'all a lot for letting me be involved.
And where did you grow up?
Edinburgh. I've been right there my whole life.
And how old are you now?
25.
25?
Yep.
And so what do you like? Southern rock, or what is it about? Why is it that you don't like rap music?
Well, I love Southern rock. I listen to anything from the 50s to now, but 70s, 80s Southern rock is my sweet spot.
So you're kind of like an old soul.
For sure, definitely.
And now your name is pretty cool, Shelby. And tell me the story about how you got that name, Shelby.
Well, I have an older brother. We're 8.5 years apart, and he begged for a little sister, and my mom and him were looking at car magazines, flipping through, and he said, "Mom, if I have a little sister, I want to name her Shelby." And so here I am.
And didn't you say that something about? Tell me about the Kia thing.
Well, since he named me Shelby after a Mustang, I thought it was fitting that I had to have a GT500. And when I got old enough to buy one of those, he said, "Well, I guess I should have named you Kia so you could afford it a little better." So, but.
I don't know. Those Kias, I think they break down a little bit. But.
Yeah, I feel a lot better in my GT500.
And another thing about Shelby is I saw her pull out of the parking lot, and she's a little heavy on the pedal. Well, didn't you get a few tickets recently?
I've had a few speeding tickets in my day, but we won't have to get into that too much.
Oh, don't feel bad because I just recently got like a $280 ticket, so I know where you're coming from.
They'll stick it to you every time if you let them.
Tell everybody about how it is that you and I met and you became the Stonette.
Yeah, so I went down to the monument. The first time I went to the monument was kind of by accident. I passed the exit sign and thought that was cool, and I've always wanted to come out there and check it out. So I did that, and I met Miss Brenda down at the monument, and she told me about the memorial that y'all were putting on, and so I decided to come back and check it out, and that's where I met you and Craig and Gene Odom, and everybody was really nice, and y'all asked me if I wanted to join in, so I said, why not?
Yeah, I saw Shelby standing over by one of the carvings, and I said to myself, that girl's got to be 6 foot tall, you know, and what a great looking girl, and what a great girl to have for a Stonette. And and when I started talking to her, I realized she had such a great personality. And then she loves Lynyrd Skynyrd music and old rock and roll type music. So I said, this is the girl for us. And then Craig fell in love with her. And so here we have our Stonette, well, Shelby.
I'm so honored to be your Stonette.
Well, we appreciate everything that you do for us. And we're going to be having Shelby work with us in the future on all kinds of stuff. So
welcome to it.
Welcome to the Stone Roadie show.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All righty, Shelby. Here we are at a little area that the manatee congregate when it gets cold, and you can see them. The water is really clear, and some pretty big manatee in there. So this is why they have the Manatee Festival. People can come down this time of year, and there's a bunch of them in here. What do you think about that, Shelby?
I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah. First time you ever saw a manatee?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
I love how clear the water is. so pretty.
How cool is that? Crystal River, Florida, at the Manatee Fest.
That part looks like the